It's been a month since things started. The accusations against Kim Soo-hyun were first made, and the situation hasn't quieted down. New rumors are now pointing fingers at Soo-hyun, not just as someone involved, but as the one who supposedly caused Sae Ron's DUI incident, even claiming he was in the car with her. But with all these accusations flying around, the real question is any of it actually true? It's widely known that Kim Sae Ron's career came to a standstill after her DUI accident, something that's taken very seriously in South Korea. As you might remember, she drove under the influence, crashed into public property, and then tried to flee the scene. It's safe to say that she faced the consequences, but even after stepping out of the spotlight and trying to move on, people didn't let her. Despite apologizing and showing she was trying to change, many continued to criticize and shame her, convinced she still hadn't paid enough. Now, after her passing, new claims have surfaced that might change how some people see what happened that night. These claims haven't been confirmed, so nothing is official yet, but they have reopened the conversation of what might have happened on the morning of the crash. If you remember, back when the crash happened, YTN reported someone else had been in the car with Sae Ron, saying that it was a non-celebrity female friend of Sae Ron's, and police even confirmed she was under investigation for possibly helping Sae Ron drive drunk. Since this woman was referred to as Miss Kim, people thought it might be actress Kim Bora, especially since she had just posted a photo with Sae Ron the day before the incident. But Bora denied everything on Instagram, and that theory faded. Later, things took another turn as netizens were talking about how eyewitnesses stated that the passenger was actually a male celebrity. It was even assumed he was Sae Ron's boyfriend. That's when rumors started linking soloist Kang Daniel to the case. It all started when a controversial Korean YouTuber known as Detective Caracula claimed that a male actor had been in the car. He said Sae Ron had been drinking with a small group, including this actor and a friend. The thumbnail of his video used a selfie of Sae Ron and Daniel, which only fueled speculation that Daniel was the man involved. But in the end, it was confirmed that the person who faced legal action for aiding the DUI was her non-celebrity friend, not Kang Daniel and not any other public figure. The rumors eventually died down, but with everything coming back into the spotlight, they're starting to resurface again. After Sae Ron's passing and the renewed focus on her connection to Soo-hyun, people started to wonder if there was more to her DUI case than what we were told. Interest spiked again about the identity of the passenger. This time, the attention shifted to actor Choi Hyun-wook. A Chinese blogger stirred things up by claiming Hyun-wook had been the passenger during the crash. According to them, gold medalist, his agency, supposedly hid the truth to protect his rising career. They claimed the company intentionally kept his name out of reports to avoid dragging him into the mess. But just like the earlier accusations involving Kang Daniel, this one didn't stick either because, as we mentioned, a female friend of Sae Ron's had already been officially charged and fined for helping her drive under the influence. That legal outcome made it hard for the new claims to gain any real traction. Not long after, the conversation started turning toward Kim Soo-hyun. That's because someone who claimed to be a former employee at Gold Medalist came forward saying he was part of an urgent company meeting held right after the accident happened. According to his story, Sae Ron had been out in Gangnam that night, dining and drinking with staff from the company. He claimed she knew she wasn't in any shape to drive, so she requested a substitute driver. But while she was supposedly waiting, the restaurant owner allegedly got angry and told her to move the car immediately. Feeling rushed, she got behind the wheel and tried to find a parking spot, and that's when the crash happened. But what really stirred things up was the next part of his claim. He said it was Kim Soo-hyun who kept pouring her drinks that night and that he was actually in the car with her. He even alleged that Soo-hyun told her to drive, saying he was too drunk himself. If true, it paints a very different picture from what most people originally believed. To back up the claims, a restaurant owner who reportedly saw everything that night came forward for the first time. He allegedly confirmed that Soo-hyun was sitting next to Sae Ron in the car when the crash happened. What made his statement even more explosive was his claim that either Soo-hyun or Gold Medalist had tried to pay him off with a large sum of money, suggesting someone had tried to cover things up. The restaurant owner supposedly admitted he stayed quiet all this time, but now wanted to come clean. Allegedly, he also expressed guilt over his silence, saying he wanted to apologize to Sae Ron's family, and according to reports, even offered to testify in court if needed to take responsibility for what he withheld. None of this has been officially proven, and as mentioned, someone has already been charged and fined for for being in the car with Sae Ron during the DUI. Still, for a lot of people, these new claims started to connect some dots. One thing that stood out to many was how YouTuber Lee Jin-ho just wouldn't stop talking about Sae Ron even long after her career had ended after the accident. Normally, content creators like him quickly move on to newer, trending topics, especially once a celebrity fades from the spotlight. But he kept circling back to her, talking about everything from her job situation to where she was seen, which are things that didn't seem relevant anymore. There's now growing suspicion that Lee Jin-ho's continued focus on Sae Ron might not have been random at all. Some think he may have been working behind the scenes with Soo-hyun to help protect his image. This theory picked up steam when people noticed that Jin-ho kept insisting Soo-hyun and Sae Ron were never involved romantically while she was still a minor, something he was apparently willing to push even if it meant ignoring a court order. People also pointed out how strange it was that Jin-ho recently brought up her DUI again, saying she drank that night because she'd just broken up with her boyfriend. That statement confused many, especially because the DUI happened after both sides had already claimed Sae Ron and Soo-hyun were no longer dating, so who she was seeing at that point wasn't even relevant. This led to another theory. Maybe Jin-ho is trying to shift the focus and lay the blame for the DUI on someone else, possibly before more damaging info comes out. But again, all of this is based on speculation. Nothing has been confirmed, and it's important to take these claims with caution. Another detail that caught attention came from someone online claiming to be a close friend of Sae Ron's. The user, who went by the name Jin Joya, left a comment under a video before Sae Ron's passing and said the actress had been drinking the night of the DUI because her company, gold medalist, made her attend a dinner with clients. According to this person, things didn't go smoothly at the dinner, and after the gathering, Sae Ron was stressed, panicked, and still under the influence when she ended up behind the wheel. Though the comment didn't mention Soo-hyun or anyone else being in the car, the claim itself stirred up a lot of concern. People found it disturbing that a young actress might have been pressured to drink and attend client meetings, something that raised red flags about what kind of environment Gold Medalist was creating for its artists. The idea that Sae Ron, someone with no authority in the company, was allegedly made to go to dinners with clients only fueled speculation about deeper issues behind the scenes. Still, there's no way to confirm if the commenter really knew Sae Ron or if the story was even true. As with everything else being discussed, it remains unverified. Some who are convinced Soo-hyun was in the car with Sae Ron also point to one particular moment as proof: the way she tried to leave the scene after crashing. After hitting a transformer and a guardrail, Sae Ron kept driving until the police eventually caught up with her. This part of the story has always raised eyebrows, but to those who believe Soo-hyun was present, it makes perfect sense. They argue that someone usually only tries to flee when there's more at risk, like protecting another person. And considering it was 8 in the morning in South Korea, where CCTV cameras are nearly everywhere, people find it strange that there wasn't more public footage or witness accounts available. So then how do they explain that Sae Ron's female friend was already charged for being in the passenger seat? The theory is that while it's true a woman was in the car, Soo-hyun was also there, but his involvement was hidden, possibly with the help of his agency or media influence. For those who have followed the situation closely, this wouldn't be the first time he's been accused of shaping the media narrative to protect his image. That idea alone has made some people even more suspicious about what really happened that morning. Not everyone is convinced by the theory that Soo-hyun was in the car. Some pointed out that CCTV footage from the scene allegedly showed Sae Ron getting out of the vehicle with another woman with no sign of a male passenger anywhere. To them, that makes the rumor seem pretty far-fetched. They also brought up how famous Soo-hyun was at the time. Fresh off the massive success of It's Okay to Not Be Okay, he was one of the most recognizable faces in the country at the time. If he really had been in the car that morning, they argue someone would have noticed, whether a passerby, a witness, or later on through footage. For those people, the idea that he was there and somehow managed to stay hidden just doesn't add up. With Garocero Institute staying quiet lately, it's unclear whether the claims about Soo-hyun's involvement in the DUI accident hold any truth. Still, even without this particular accusation, Soo-hyun already faces other serious allegations. So if this one turns out to be false, it doesn't change the gravity of the other accusations he's dealing with.